guys, Samantha from Jessima Tutorials here, and welcome back to another inspired by that photo video. So today we're going to kind of create a winter midnight sky. So I've got this star stencil first, and I'm just going to lay that over the top of this black polymer clay, and I'm working on a piece of paper. And I'm just going to burnish that stencil down onto the black clay, just so that it's stuck down. Then I'm going to grab some silver leaf, and I'm going to lay that over the top and just get it to stick down. It's okay if it crackles, that's not a problem at all. There we go. Bring over a piece of paper, and I want you to burnish that thoroughly because you want it stuck to the clay in between the stencil. Get that really nicely burnished in there. Okay, then I'll just use a brush to brush away that excess. The easiest way to do it. And it does make a bit of a mess, so just make sure that you don't have anything that can get cross-contaminated with the metal leaf. And the nice thing about brushing it off like this is if you missed any areas, you can go in and like reapply the leaf. There we go, you get off the stencil and out of the way. Clean up the metal leaf. This is why I like to work mainly on a piece of paper, because then I can just take this over to the bin. Or you can actually save this, you can pop this into a bag for later use as well. Okay, there we go. Then I'm just going to generally get an idea of where I'm going to be cutting out my piece. It doesn't have to be exact, but I do want a general idea. And I'm just going to drop some sailboat blue alcohol ink there. And this is going to be the center of our piece. And then just tap that around in a generally round shape. This is just going to colour our stars, and it might look quite dark to you, but I will show you what it does in a moment. There we go. Then I have some indigo alcohol ink here, and I'm going to drop this separately because this is much darker, and I'm just going to bring over a sponge, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to add that. Again, getting a general idea of where I should be working, and generally just try to blend it together like so. Just go in and just keep gently blending like so. Okay, there we go. Now let me just tilt that around and show you. Okay, a little bright, but there you can see how it's made very nice reflective blue stars. Okay, now an option is to take some alcohol and just spray from a distance, and you'll get kind of a bubbly effect. And I'm going to use it sparingly just to see how that goes. I'll use one more. There we go. Okay, and then let me just show you that again, and that will just kind of create a little bit of alternating colours. Then we're just going to peel the stencil up, and it will probably be a little stuck because it was on the piece of paper. So I will now go and pop that on a piece down on my tile. And this should be completely dry. You can see that doesn't pick up any alcohol ink. We want it to be completely dry. And then I'm just going to lift that up. And I just want to be careful because I don't want the clay to accidentally rip, so I'm coming from multiple directions. There we go. And you can clean that stencil with some isopropyl alcohol very easily. There we go. And I'm going to transfer that back onto a piece of paper. The tile just helped it not stick. It just helped it stick a bit so that it was easier to lift the stencil. Give it another burnish so that you flatten out any texture the stencil may have created. And then bring over a snowflake stencil. And the snowflake stencil, the snowflake that you've chosen, should fit your circle cutter that you're going to be using. Okay, there we go. That will do. Bring over your snowflake. And I'm going to be using this one here. I could actually use this one. No, I'll use this one here. A little bit of metal leaf on there. Okay, and I'm going to roughly get that in the middle of those stars. Place it down. Give it a little burnish to get it stuck. You don't have to be too harsh with the burnishing. Okay. And you can use silver paint for this, but I want to have a raised image. And so I'm going to be using Sculpey Silver Liquid Clay. And so I'm just going to dot a little bit of that over. It's not going to be a perfect cover. I'll go in and do that in a moment. So I'm just getting the liquid clay on. And I only want a small covering of liquid clay. I don't want too much. And I'm using the Sculpey one because it's nice and thick, and so it will make this easier. It won't just flop once your stencil's lifted. Then just move that around so that you're covering the part of the stencil that you want to cover, like so. Okay, there we go. Then we're gonna lift this up and just hold the clay and peel it up, and you should get a pretty clean image, and that you can just simply wipe off with a wet wipe. Very easy to get that cleaned off. Then I will just grab my cutter of choice and make sure to center that. Okay. And then cut down. And it will most likely stick in your cutter. Just going to flip that over so I have a clean back, but I've left enough edge that I can just gently coax it out. Shouldn't take too much. Okay, then you're going to pop that into the oven for a full hour at Primrose recommended temperature, and then once it has baked we can finish it off. Okay, and while it's in the oven I'm going to make the back side. So I want this to basically be a double-sided pendant. So what I'm going to do is I've taken the black that was left over from our piece when we cut it out. And I'm just going to apply another layer of metal leaf, this time without the stencil. And just make sure to burnish that on top so that it's nicely stuck down. Okay. Then I'm going to grab the same alcohol inks as before, and I'm going to start with the Sailboat Blue. I'm going to pop that one down because that's the lighter of the two. You always want to start with the lighter one, and just dab that around. I'm not going to go with a specific cylindrical pattern this time around. This time I'm just going to dab it in a random pattern. Then I'm going to take the indigo, and just like before I am going to be putting this separately because it's just way too strong of a colour to just be dropping on there. It will take over the entire thing. And I'm just going to go and dab that through. And you can see there, just one drop of it on here makes a massive impact. It's a really, really strong colour, which is nice, but you do need to be aware of that when you're working with it. And I'm just going to cover the rest essentially. Okay, and like before I'm just going to spray that isopropyl alcohol off to the side to get a dotted pattern. Okay, just just blow to make sure that it's completely dry. And you can see there what that looks like. Then I'm just going to burnish this a little one more time just to collect up any of that residue alcohol ink. And then I'm also, while I've got the paper on top so that it doesn't stick, I'm going to just give it a quick roll to crackle the metal leaf. You can see a little bit of it stuck. It's okay, it will have formed a little bit of a pattern and it will have crackled the metal leaf a bit. I might actually just roll it one more time to get the metal leaf to crackle a little more. And it shouldn't have stuck that time, it will only stick once. But there you can see how that looks. Okay, and then just like before, I'll be putting the snowflake on top. And lift. There we go. And so that's going to give you a different effect than the first one. Okay. And actually, I don't think that this will be a double-sided pendant. I think this will just be another pendant in the lineup. Okay. And just center this and then bake it like the other one. Okay. And here they are out of the oven. So you can see they're quite different, but yeah. So now what I want to do is I just want to kind of create a border because I'm not quite happy with how they look as they are. So this one I'm just going to bring over a little pearl white acrylic paint. And one of these again. Just dab a little bit, you don't want a lot. And then I'm just going to dab around the edge so it looks like it's got almost like a layer of frost. And this is completely optional if you don't like this look and you don't want to do that. By all means, skip it. This is just something that I think would look nice. But again, it's completely up to you. I'm going to do the same with the other one, except I'm going to be using kind of a black paint rather, because the pearl white won't show up on the silver leaf that we used. Okay. And if you don't like it, you can always wash it off. Okay, and there we go. This one I decided to go in a little so that we kind of get more of a snowflake pattern. And this one I just went with a border. So now I'm going to coat them in some UV resin. And I just need a thin layer, we don't need too much. And this is just going to bring out the sparkle in the piece. If you don't want to use, excuse me, if you don't want to use UV resin, you can also coat this in a gloss varnish. That will work as well. And I'll put this into the UV light for 10 minutes just to make sure that it's completely cured, because I don't want it to be sticky at all after we're done with this. And you can see there how it brings out the colours really nicely. Just spread that out, pop into the UV light, and then we can finish them off. Okay, and here they are out of the UV light. And you can see how that's really just cleaned them up and brought them to a new level. So now we are just going to drill them. And I'm just going to drill this one. This one I'm going to string, the other one I'll leave. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. I could do the exact same that I'm going to do with this pendant. But I'm not sure exactly if I want to do that just yet, so I'm not going to drill it. There we go. Quick and easy. Going to bring over a jump ring. And I have a necklace ready off to the side. But yeah, basically we'll just attach it to a bail. And that's nice and easy. Now obviously I'm doing these as pendants. You can do a few different things with them. You could also make them smaller, and then you could end up making something along the lines of earrings. These ones obviously are a bit too big to be that, but you could make earrings if you made them a bit smaller. But yeah, that's basically it for today's tutorial. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I quite like how these turned out and how different it looks by just placing the stencil underneath. You can choose which one you like best. You can also change up the colour of the liquid clay. Gold might look quite nice on this one. But yeah, there's lots of different ways that you could do this technique. If you enjoyed it, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue doing videos like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a link to my Patreon or a join button for my YouTube membership below this video. Also, buying tools and supplies from my Etsy store also helps. Things like my cutters and the stencils that I used in today's video helps. And if you're interested in the resin that I used for these pieces, there is a link to that below as well. There's also a 10% off discount there if you're interested, so be sure to check that out. And commenting also really helps the video as well. So everything and anything that you can do is greatly appreciated. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.